Hello, Taurus, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading for March 2023, looking at your recent, past, or current energy and your immediate future. I've already pulled the overall energy for the reading so that we can jump right in. We'll dive into tarot, and then I have the decks I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Taurus. In your recent past, I first and foremost want to say, you guys have been going through it. That's for sure. It's definitely been, the overall energy for this reading, one of the cards you have is stormy, but there's also a lot of good fortune coming your way. The other card is good fortune, which we'll dive into in a second. But in your recent past, you have focused on the positive with the Knight of Cups. I feel like your recent past it was almost like your emotions, something was happening, you were going through triggers or just experiencing an emotional time, and it was really hard for you to see the bigger picture, for you to see what's coming towards you, for you to see the good that you have coming toward you. I feel like that's kind of carried over to your current energy, but I feel like you guys have stepped a little bit more into your power because you have step up and lead with the devil in reverse. And so, the step up and lead card to me is about being the leader of your own life, being the creator of your own life. And with the devil in reverse, this is about releasing yourself I really feel like it's like attachment to your past of some sort. Like releasing yourself, not even necessarily just your past, like situations that happened that you fear repeating itself, or could be inner child energy. I'm not exactly sure what this devil card speaks of. It could just be fear in general. But I do see that this is kind of you working through fear and almost like not like no longer allowing it to affect your perception of your life, because our perception is our reality, and the more that we view things from a place of fear, the more we experience fear, and vice versa. Now, like I said, the overall energy for this reading is stormy and good fortune. So I feel like this stormy energy is kind of what you've been experiencing, but it's almost, to me, the way that I see this is through the storm you create the good fortune, which is exactly what I see for your immediate future. It's almost like the way that you are able to shift your perception in the times of kind of the storm is how you create these positive changes you're looking for, because then you have go wild with the wheel of fortune. That's two cards of good fortune, two cards of things turning in the wheel turning in your favor. And this go wild card to me is almost like have fun with it. So I feel like you have a lot of good things coming your way, but I feel like right now and in your recent past, you've had to kind of you've had to work through a lot. I definitely feel you've had to work through a lot, but I feel like you're coming to kind of the blessings at the end of the rainbow, almost like you've had the storm, the rainbow's forming, and you're gonna kind of find I feel like I'm getting that because I don't know why. I know this isn't necessarily a rainbow, but this kind of looks like a rainbow to me. That's what I'm seeing here. And also it's kind of interesting because these are both like those circles in the middle are really kind of jumping out at me. It's almost like the way that I see it, because they're both in the center of the card, it's almost like you staying centered during the storm is what moves the wheel forward for you. Something like that. Let's see. Let's look at your recent past. This is going to be for Taurus's recent past. Recent past for Taurus, you have focused on the positive with the Knight of Cups. What was Taurus dealing with in their recent past? What was Taurus dealing with in their recent past? Maybe, goodness. Okay. So something that you're wanting, this good fortune, the wheel turning in your favor, in whatever way that kind of resonates for you, is been taking a lot longer than you expected. I feel like you've been hitting a lot of obstacles with it, and it's been kind of almost poking at your hope that it's ever going to happen. Because these are two cards of things moving slow, right? This is almost like moving so slow that it doesn't feel like it's moving at all. Kind of same with this card, though. Like, those are very similar energies that I'm feeling here. But the Knight of Swords in reverse is almost like the universe had to slow you down for some reason. There was some reason you needed to find, because it's almost like during the storm, if you will, because what was being triggered was your fear that it was never going to happen, that whatever you're wanting is never going to come to fruition. And during the storms is when we create the good times. During our lows is when we create our highs. And I feel like that's kind of, it was almost like as much as this sounds like, you might not see it this way. I don't know, you might with the step up and lead energy or in your current energy, but this feels like the universe was giving you a chance or like an opportunity almost, like with the storm that you were having to weather. It was almost like the universe was like, the way that you respond to this is how you create your good fortune. And I feel like you've handled it very well, at least as well as you know how, right? Recent past for Taurus. The Ten of Swords in reverse. Healing from some sort of separation. Because there was something, you experienced this energy. Maybe not necessarily in your recent past, it could have been. But you experienced this Ten of Sword energy. There was some sort of separation from possibly a comfort zone, an attachment even. And that's made things really, when we're separated from our comfort zone, it brings up a lot of triggers because our fear, we use our comfort zone to alleviate our fear. And so when our comfort zone kind of gets taken away from us, we do end up kind of experiencing a lot of that fear. But it's almost like this had to happen to move you toward what you wanted, in a way. Yeah, it had to happen because there's a strength card. It's almost like this is actually building, I feel like you lost what you wanted, but it was actually the universe giving you the opportunity to get what you want. It's interesting. Recent past for Taurus. I don't even know if you necessarily see it as a loss, though. I mean, you might. You more see it as like a betrayal or like a... It's almost like your fear of betrayal, like your fear of the universe not bringing you your blessings. Especially with this Artist in Reverse card. It's almost like you're afraid that what you're trying to create, which is, to me, is this good fortune, whatever this fortune is that you're looking for. It's almost like your recent past was you dealing with it not happening. So this betrayal, I don't even necessarily know if it happened. I want clarity on this Ten of Swords in reverse. Clarity on this Ten of Swords in reverse for Taurus's recent past, please. I don't know if this necessarily happened or if you fear it happening. Yeah, no, this is just you're feeling this betrayal. Okay, because you've been struggling with not receiving. The Six of Pentacles in reverse with the Magician in reverse. This is you doubting in what you're trying to create, what you're trying to manifest. Now, when I talk about manifestation, that word can mean so many different things. What you're trying to build, what you're trying to, invest in, what you're trying to receive, whatever the case is, however that resonates with you. But it just feels like there's this doubt that you're ever going to receive, that you're ever going to get. Like, to me, this is all about you looking for your abundance. Emotional, material, kind of across the board. And I feel like your recent past was you kind of getting really burnt out about the fact that you just it just feels like it's not happening. Like you feel like no matter how much energy you give in to, say, your path or a relationship or whatever the case is, you're just not receiving. And it's so frustrating because I feel like you start getting in your head about it and you start saying, well, it's never going to happen. But those are just triggers. It's almost like the universe had to trigger that fear to bring that fear to the surface so that you could work through it. Ultimately, this is the fear about what you want never coming to fruition. Okay, current energy for Taurus. But I feel like, that's always the case, right? The universe puts obstacles in our path for a reason. And in fact, if you're on the right path, you probably are experiencing a lot of obstacles. And that's typically because the universe has us work through. It's like that whole concept that manifestation happens overnight, because it's not that the actual result happens overnight, it's that the material aspect happens overnight, but the process to get there, it's really internal, because it is, it's as above, so below, as within, so without. It's how we work on ourselves. It's how we face our fears. It's how we work, because 95% of our movements, choices, decisions, actions, response to our reality is subconscious. And so a lot of the time when we're manifesting lack, when we're experiencing lack in our life, it's because there's a part of us that believes that we always have to experience lack, or that lack is necessary, or that we're not deserving of whatever it is that we want. And so you've actually been fighting with the part of yourself that doesn't believe that what you're wanting is possible, or that you're deserving, or that ultimately that it's ever going to happen. So that's where the storm is coming from. It's almost like try and look at this storm as a blessing, because it really is helping you release a lot of those subconscious beliefs that have kept you trapped and experiencing, lack, or not receiving. Current energy for Taurus, clarifying, step up in the lead with the devil. Current energy for Taurus, clarifying, step up and lead with the devil in reverse. The devil. I'm going to have to pull more on that. It's funny when that happens. So then you have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and then I like that, the 4 of Cups. I see what this is saying, but I want more clarity on this devil card. What is this attachment to? What is this attachment that's being released? Or this, what is this? I mean, it's talking about limiting beliefs. Queen of Swords in reverse to the 8 of Swords in reverse. So you, Taurus, your comfort zone is suffering. Your comfort zone is lack. So that's why it's been so hard for you to break out of lack, because you have never experienced this good fortune before. You've never experienced this abundance. So to you, and that's the thing with us humans. It's kind of funny. We actually have a tendency to be afraid of our own happiness, because it's so different. It's so new. It's unpredictable, right? Like our unhappiness and our lack and the suffering and the comfort, are the survival mode that we're so used to. It's our comfort zone. So it's almost like, it's not necessarily that it's almost like you're fighting with this experience, like with your survival mode experience, and the fact that there's a part of you that's so used to that's what you're comfortable with, even though it doesn't make you happy. You're comfortable with it because it's all you've ever really known. So that's why you have step up and lead. This is about realizing that you don't have to survive. You can create. But it's interesting, because you really are fighting with that aspect of yourself that believes that survival mode is like, I don't know if it's necessary, or just you believe that that's just how life always is. Like it's take it as it resonates for you personally. But current energy for Taurus. So it's kind of interesting, because Taurus, you have an attachment to your own suffering. That is kind of a crazy message. See, the Page of Cups in reverse with the Temperance in reverse. The signs are all pointing you to this. The signs are pointing you to this good fortune. But you don't believe it. First of all, you don't believe it because you've never experienced it. But you also don't believe it because you're not realizing that you're the one who creates it. You create it with your beliefs, with your thoughts, with your actions, mainly your beliefs. I mean, your results are your beliefs are the root of your results. And your beliefs right now, or at least up until this point, have been aligned with survival mode. I have to be in survival mode. Survival mode is the way of life. And that's just not true. But it's almost like, because I'm looking at these circles again, talking like the center, and it feels like this is about learning to stay centered through the chaos, through the storm. Because, one of my favorite memes, if you will, is it's like a split image of this little girl, and she's standing in the sun and everything's good and it's bright in the background and there's flowers growing, and the caption kind of says, um, everything is okay. And then in the other picture, it's like stormy and it's dark, and she's standing there and she's saying everything is okay. And it's interesting because it talks about how it's like what I used to think stability was, and then like what stability actually looks like. Is stability isn't just about being centered and being, you know, faith, having faith and being optimistic when things are going well. It's also having those same outlooks when things aren't going well, when you're facing the storm. It's like that whole concept of like calm yourself. Don't try to calm the storm, calm yourself. The storm will pass. Um, and so it's interesting because it's like you're definitely dealing with a storm. I feel like you're close to the storm being over though, but it's because you end it. Because you've got to release your attachment to this survival mode, attachment to survival mode. That's what you're struggling with. Current energy for Taurus, please. The King of Cups in reverse with the King of Swords. So this is really interesting because you have a tendency, that's what this devil energy is. This devil energy is, it's really good, and it's honestly, it's kind of almost like it's like your shadow self, it's our ego, it's our inner child. It's that part of us that's really good at making us believe that in worst case scenarios, or believe that everything is going to go wrong, or believe that the world is ending, if you will. And it's really good at doing that because it's really good at manipulating your mind into making you believe it. Now, don't try not to think of this as an outside energy. Try to think of this as an energy that exists within you, because that will allow you to give yourself, that part of yourself, the compassion to say, hey, everything's okay. Everything's okay. We're just going through a storm. Everything's going to work out. Because the more that you can give yourself that compassion, the more that you'll be able to move forward with this King of Swords energy. And this is allowing yourself to stay, this is like equanimity, which basically means staying balanced within the storm, staying centered within the storm. And that's what creates this good fortune for you. So let's look at this. This is immediate future for Taurus. We have Go Wild with the Wheel of Fortune. What does Taurus's immediate future say? Immediate future for Taurus, please. Okay, hang on. I get what this is saying, but I don't know how that applies to the immediate future energy. Clarifying Taurus's immediate future. Now, I will say when I read immediate future, I try not to read events. I more try to read like how to handle, like where your focus should be. Clarifying Taurus's immediate future, please. Okay. Your immediate future, the Five of Swords, the Eight of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Queen of Swords in reverse, is about, this to me is about how to create, like using this energy that you're going through, this stormy energy, to create positive changes. And doing that by trying to see through the confusion that you have whenever things are not going so well and you start to feel really weighed down by that. And the way that you kind of allow yourself to release that and create better for yourself is to not believe it. Don't believe the fear. Don't believe the anxiety. Don't believe the worst case scenarios that you have in your mind. Really try to tap into this, the universe has my back kind of energy, because that's what's going to be, it's really easy to watch tarot readings or get tarot readings done and be like, wow, I hope my immediate future looks good in these readings. But the thing is I'm not here to read, your immediate future. Whatever I read is only going to be based on if you don't make any changes where you're at right now, right? And you have more control over your future and over the outcome than I think you realize, because this is about learning that, it's finding peace in the chaos. It's being calm when things aren't going your way, so that you can say, because again, your response to your reality is what creates your reality. How you perceive your reality is what you see in your future. And so when you're going through the storm, when you're experiencing these, this devil energy and this King of Cups in reverse, and this really, the kind of frustrating, overwhelming energy, it's vitally important that in those moments you don't allow yourself to get completely lost in that energy. That you try to stay centered and you try to stay calm and you try to allow it, you allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, but you can say, I know that the universe has my back. I know everything is working out for me. I know I'm on the right path. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Therefore, I can have faith knowing that things are going to work out for me. And that faith is what creates miracles. It's what creates these positive changes for you. So this is almost like this whole reading to me, and I really like it, is almost like the universe, the divine, your guides, whoever it is that you resonate with, saying, hey, take your power back, because you step up and lead, because you have the ability to create this good fortune that you've been waiting for. And it's time for you to stop waiting. It's time for you to stop waiting for good things to come your way. It's time to start creating them. That's what this reading kind of feels like. Immediate future for Taurus. The moon with the Judgment. You tend to overthink the most when you're seeing things through the lens of your fear. And the first way that we tend to view situations is through the lens of our fear and insecurity. And so this is about learning to see the truth through the fear. You're going to experience fear. Fear will always exist. It's a part of life. You can't have hope without fear. You can't have faith without fear. It's not, that's the whole, everything. You can't have the light without the dark. You can't have the good without the bad. But this is about learning that your fear, your anxiety, your stress, your whatever it is that you're dealing with, it doesn't have to control you. And you can see through it. And that's why you have this go wild with the Wheel of Fortune, is because this is one thing that I've really kind of had to realize recently in my own personal journey, and a hard truth that I've had to kind of swallow, is that happiness and peace, they're a choice. Happiness isn't a destination. It's not something that just shows up in your life one day. It's something you have to actively choose. You have to choose peace. You have to choose joy. And you do that. You have to do that even when things don't feel happy and peaceful, because that is what creates more happiness and more peace for you to actually experience in your material world. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm seeing in your immediate future, because this is about not getting lost in overthinking. See through the fear. See through, the storm. It's kind of like eye in the storm too. That's the other way I'm saying this. It's almost like your immediate future is standing in the eye of the hurricane, but in a way that you never have before. Don't be afraid. I'm not saying anything bad's happening. It's almost like handling it in a way you never really have before, which allows you to take back your power from all of the stormy times you experience. Immediate future for Taurus. This feels upright. Yeah. There's the Wheel of Fortune again with the Chariot. It's upright, right? Yeah, no, it's definitely upright. Yeah, because there's a Six of Pentacles in reverse, the same one we've experienced. So this is about positive changes. I want to clarify this Wheel of Fortune. We have the same Wheel of Fortune right there, but I want to clarify this again. Clarifying this Wheel of Fortune. Or you know what? It almost feels like this could go either way. That is what this is saying. this wheel can turn either way. It can either turn in your favor or it can turn not in your favor, and it's up to you to decide. It's your choice. It's you get to decide how this wheel turns, and you decide based on your actions, your choices. Yeah, no, that's what this is saying. I mean, clarify it again. There it is. I mean, the Two of Swords right there, like this is a choice. You can either choose to have faith in your path or you can choose to not. And it's kind of like up to you. Like that's kind of a cool message. Is it's literally like the universe is saying you don't realize that you manifesting the life that you want is up to you. You get to make that choice. Now, of course, you've got to work through the fear and the inner child wounds and the feelings of not being deserving and all of that first, right? But you have more power than you think. Way more power than you think. All right, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these messages, pull some advice, and then I have an actual advice card to pull at the end. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me. And I hope that this reading helped and resonated in a way that you are looking for today. And I do wish you absolutely nothing but love and peace on your journey. Bye, Taurus.